This is Golf with Jay Delsing. A two-time All-American at UCLA. Competed in nearly 700 PGA Tour events, 7 professional wins to his credit. Over 30 years of professional golf experience. A member of the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame and the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
Welcome into Golf with Jay Delsing, heard every Sunday right here on 101 ESPN between 8 and 10. And with Jay Delsing, I'm Dan McLaughlin. We come to you from the CarShield Studios, as always presented by Daugherty Business Solutions. My man, it is Masters Week.
Can't wait, man.
It doesn't get any better, does it?
I can't wait to start talking. What are we going to talk about? I mean, we have something. No, it doesn't. This time of year, Danny, is just my favorite time of year. The MLB season's kicked off. We got NHL playoffs right around the corner, Easter, and our first major of the year. And now, you know, we had the Players' Championship just a couple weeks ago, too. So it's a special time of year.
A couple of things that we want to mention on the show coming up. You conducted a long interview with Mark Wiebe, and that should be fun to listen to. He's won a championship on the senior tour, so we're going to talk about that. Correct me if I'm wrong, it was the British.
Of course, you're right. No, you're right. He won the British Senior Open Championship and 4 other Champions Tour events and 2 on the regular tour. So yeah, lots to talk about.
So fun to visit with him. Looking forward to that. Also a new feature thanks to Elevate Golf. What can we expect with this?
You know what? It's the training center. So we are going to get some of the professionals out at Elevate Golf. They have a state-of-the-art training system where they monitor your progress. It's data-driven. It's using TrackMan and some other really cool techie sort of things, Danny, that the modern golfer will like and enjoy and also help them improve on. So we're going to get some of their folks on the show, but I wanted to create a specific place just for training and for improving. And we get so many emails in our mailbag each week, and they're always, you know, people. There's a group that really wants to try to get better out there, and so I'm thinking this is going to be a natural. I think people will really take to it.
Emails coming up later in the show, jay@jdelsinggolf.com, jay@jdelsinggolf.com. Okay, the Masters, my favorite golf tournament of the year.
I'm with you, man.
I'm in the minority with saying it's not, because everybody loves it. Everybody loves the Masters. What comes to mind when you think of the Masters?
Yes, sir. And
this is Vern's last year.
This is Vern's last year. That's why I was saying that. So I just read a great article. Jim Nantz was really getting emotional. 40 years. Vern Lundquist has called 40 years at Augusta, and Vern is a great guy. He's kind of a short, roundish guy with just a great smile. And, I mean, some of his comments, Danny, well, you're a world-class broadcaster. That's nothing for you probably either. But for us fans, the things that come out of your mouths at certain times will go down in forever as going, Jack on the 17th green, and it was his 6th Masters, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And Tiger with the shot behind the 16th green. And, you know, I think Vern said something like, have you ever, or something like that, you know? And so it's just iconic for me. I think of the grounds at Augusta and how beautiful it is, and the championship and all that. And it just, it makes me want to go play.
2019, my favorite Masters ever.
Yep.
Tiger comes out of really nowhere to win this. And I mean nowhere because no one really expected it. Everything off the course that he dealt with, so many injuries, changed his swing 3 different times, had not really been effective on the tour, and then all of a sudden he pops up, wins the Masters. It was just an unbelievable, iconic sports moment.
Well, Danny, it's interesting because we got to personally see Tiger play just at the last major of the year before in St. Louis at the 100th anniversary of the PGA Championship at Bellerive, and he finished second, shooting closing 64 on Sunday, and he didn't hit a fairway on the front nine, and he was all over the place and holing putts. And then later that year, Danny, at the end of 2018, he wins the Tour Championship, the last event of the year, and then goes out and knocks off this first major, and it was spectacular. How many balls did we count that got hit in the water the last 9 by all the other contenders? I know Koepka hit it in there. I think Poulter hit it in there. We know Molinari hit it. It was like the lakes are going to overflow down there.
Yeah.
There are balls going in, and it's so. There is so much history, Danny, with Augusta. I don't even know where we'd start. I mean, it's so much fun.
Let's start with some of the changes. Number 13, one of the changes as we look forward to the Masters.
Well, they bought an entire hole from Augusta Country Club, which sits adjacent to the property, which is, could you imagine that conversation? You come in and you're sitting on one side of the table, and I'm coming in and I'm Augusta National, like, we want to buy your 9th hole. And you're going to look at, like, what's our 9th hole worth, And
sure.
I mean, it
doesn't
crazy.
Even matter.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't even.
They have the money. They'll make the money. It doesn't even matter.
It's right. I mean, could you imagine if you were representing Augusta Country Club and you were like, no. Okay, now we'll start talking. I mean, you could. What are you going to do? They want it. They've got the money. You're in that sort of position. You're going to hold out and. Yeah, I mean, plus, now what do? You got 17 holes over there. You got to figure something else out. So what they did was they lengthened number 13, and it needs a little something, Danny, but here's what I'm afraid of. I don't want them turning that into a 3-shot hole. If they turn that into a 3-shot hole, we're going to lose a lot of the drama and a lot of the both positive and negative, right? We see eagles there. We also see plenty of balls hitting the water. So if they turn that into a 3-shot hole, guys won't be taking a risk with their tee shot. They'll be laying it up, and then they'll be laying the second shot up and so there'll be much less scoreboard swings. We won't see as many 3s. We won't see nearly as many 6s and 7s. And so that's my biggest concern with that change.
It's going to be fun, though, in how guys play it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the guys keep getting longer.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
And that's my point.
Yeah, it's interesting because, we think about this golf ball rollback and things like that, Danny, and the tour players will figure it out. I mean, okay, we're going to take away 15 yards. They'll get it back. They'll get in the gym. They'll get faster. They'll get stronger. They'll figure it out. I'm not concerned with that. You just wonder, changing the dynamics of that hole too much. I believe in Augusta in terms of them having their pulse on, what really needs to be done.
You can have any thoughts that you want to have on LIV, but for me to have the players from LIV, Jon Rahm, defending champion, Phil Mickelson will be there, some of the great names in golf. It just adds to it. And remember 100%. Last year it was kind of the villains against the guys that stayed.
It was the black hats versus the white hats, yeah.
And I don't think it's as much this year, but still it adds to the drama of what is the Masters.
100%, D. And I mean, let's be honest. I can't wait to see the guys play. I mean, I didn't want them to go. I get it. I probably would have gone myself if Greg would have called me and made some of those offers. But now everybody's just, hey, this is the event. I'll tell you who I'm overly excited to watch play. Joaquin Niemann. And I'll tell you why. He's been the hottest play. The LIV schedule is so squirrely, for lack of a better term. They play so infrequently, but he's already won twice over there, had a top 5 finish. He's between Joaquin Niemann and Scotty Scheffler. They're two the guys that are playing the absolute best right now. It'll be really interesting to see what what comes to the table with the other great players, because Danny, JT is not in good form. Patrick Cantlay, some of the stars on the regular tour have not performed well at all. Tony Finau he had a nice weekend defending his championship in Houston a couple weeks ago, but he really hasn't been on form, has not been putting well. And, we don't hear from Brooks Koepka until it's major time, and so I expect him to be in the mix. I always love watching Jon Rahm play, and one of your favorites, DJ's in the field, and past champion.
I was just going to say, it's going to be hard for me to overlook or not bet with Koepka because it's a major.
Did you say bet?
You know what I mean here. Friendly wagers.
Yeah.
And also taking a look at Jon Rahm, the defending champion. How do you overlook those two guys?
100%. I mean, 100%. I mean, Brooks Koepka, don't forget, Brooks Koepka probably wins his championship last year if the rain doesn't disrupt the normal flow of the play so much and he doesn't have to play 34 holes on Sunday. He probably wins that championship. He's sleeping on the lead going into Sunday.
Wasn't it a 3-shot lead, I believe?
It was quite a bit, and then he turned around and follows it right up with the PGA Championship up at Oak Hill. So, I just can't. I just wish it was on right now.
Sure.
I mean, I just can't wait. I just like putting my butt in that couch, getting all my food and beverages all set up, and just locking in. It's so much fun.
What are your expectations for Tiger?
Oh man. So I'm going to say this because I love my size 13 fits perfectly in this huge mouth of mine. I have counted him out so many times. Danny, I'm going to say it again. He's not playing enough, and he's the greatest player of my generation. Okay, because I'm going to say Jack was a little past my generation, but I don't know how he does it. He's not playing any. I was checking out the weather because this week we've had dicey weather, and so did Augusta as they were having the women's amateur championship there. It was cold and breezy, but it's going to be warmer. There is another chance of rain. There's always a chance of rain in the springtime down there, so I think the warm weather will help him a lot. But Danny, I was impressed with the way he walked in LA. We only got to see him for a round and a little bit. I was not impressed with his short game and his putting, and those were the two of the things that he's been able to basically hang his career on. He was as good as anybody in the world.
What is this week like from the player's perspective of when they get there, when they start to practice, and then how those practice sessions go as you lead up to Thursday? A
lot of the guys they'll visit periodically in the 30 to 45 days prior. They'll come down and play 3 or 4 practice rounds, so they've got notes. Most of them have notes from prior years. The first thing you do, Danny, when you get out on the golf course for the first time this current year is what's different. What have they done? Augusta is notorious for that. Sometimes they'll mow the fairways in different patterns so your ball won't roll, or they'll do a lot of little subtle things to change. So that's the first thing the players are going to note. Even as far as going to the pine straw and looking, I mean, because this place, they don't take anything. No detail is too small. So they'll add pine straw. And every single player will play out of the pine straw 3 or 4 times for the week. The guys that drive it worse, 6 or 8 times. So
sure.
It's definitely something to look at. And then they'll be trying to notice anything. Have they changed any of the greens? Because they'll do that subtly, and that's the first thing. Then the next thing is, how do you get yourself playing your best so that you can try and peak during that weekend in April? And that is, Danny, I never quite figured it out for 4 rounds. I could come out charging and I could fade. I could come out extremely flat and charge towards the end, and it's just a difficult thing to do. So I know that Rory's already played multiple rounds down there. I know Philly Mick's already played multiple rounds down there. So is JT. Tiger flew in last week to play. So once the tournament week is on, it's really about the state of your game currently and how is your mental game as well. So most of the guys will play 9 holes on Wednesday. So let's back into Thursday. So they'll play 9 holes on Wednesday, and then some will play in the par 3 and some won't play in the par 3. Danny, no one's ever won the par 3 championship and won the tournament that year. So Tiger very seldom, if ever, plays in the par 3.
Isn't it great, though? I love
so
it.
cool.
Family members are there.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Friends,
you want to talk about there's some beautiful women out there. Not that I've noticed, but friends told me.
We're talking about the par 3, and you're talking about ladies.
The girlfriends will caddy, the wives will caddy, the kids will caddy. It's just a really cool little thing. The golf course, the par 3 sits there. It's beautifully routed, so you get to see. There's some water. It's just a super cool event. And so then on Tuesday, a lot of the guys will just play 9 holes Monday, 9 holes Tuesday, and 9 holes Wednesday. Some will, like for me, I'm playing 18 at least twice of those 3 days.
Just to get a better feel for it.
Absolutely. And it's Augusta.
Yep.
I want to keep playing it. You know what I mean? I don't care how many times you played there. You can't get there enough. As long as I'd be monitoring my schedule coming into that week, so I wouldn't be overly tired. Augusta would not be my 6th in a row, for example. What I usually played my best, my 2nd, 3rd, or 4th in a row, so that's where that would fall in, depending on what other family things I had going on. So, and then it just depends on, like I said, the state of your game. Do I need to hit a lot of ball? Am I working on something and I'm almost there, so I need to reinforce it, or is it there and now I just gotta loosen up and let her rip? Everybody's got to be slightly different.
As a father of 2 daughters that play golf, you're a father of 4 daughters. I love what they did this past week, and it's now become a tradition to have the ladies out there to give them a chance to play this and to have meaningful golf for the ladies at Augusta.
No doubt, groundbreaking stuff. It's a great addition for all of us golfers, and yeah, the poor girls, man. The second day, man, it looked like the wind. I think, Danny, the first day, the aggregate score was like maybe plus 10 or 12 or something, and then I think you and I looked, and the second round wasn't even over, and they were at like plus 265.
Exactly.
That course was and the wind was blowing hard, and it was, oh my gosh, it was in the 40s, and that's a big ask.
We're going to visit with Mark Wiebe, who won on the Champions Tour a major, won the British, so we'll do that in just a bit later in the show. Also, get your emails in, jay@jdelsinggolf.com. New feature with Elevate Golf. We'll have that as well. But let's tip our cap. We're going to tip our cap to the Missouri Athletic Club. You are now the golf ambassador for the MAC, and we had our fireside chat on Wednesday.
It was just absolutely wonderful. Thank you for doing it with me. It was a blast, again, to do these things with you. And, yeah, the tip of the cap is brought to you by the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, 314-966-0303. Colin Burnt is a great guy and could take care of any sort of any sort of car that you need. And they sponsor the tip of the cap segment. We've got this iconic city club at the MAC. We got the beautiful downtown facility, the West County thing. I don't know where you and I ever went for meetings and lunches and anything before we started. We have worn that place out. They look at us like, really?
Yeah.
You guys are back again. It's spectacular. We've got, I got a workout last week, Danny, with Paul, and he absolutely tore me up, and it felt great. There's the equipment, state of the art. The machines are fantastic. If you're into Bar 3, they've got those bar classes there. They've also got all sorts of yoga. I mean, anything you want, they've got it. The MAC is phenomenal. I love being a part of it. Rodney and the team over there, and Chip, the guys are doing great stuff. Chip is brand new, probably Danny, in his 4th or 5th month of being a new St. Louisan, and really making some neat changes. So we appreciate the MAC. We love being a part of it. Love having them as part of the community. And that's the tip of the cap, brought to you by Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, 314-966-0303.
Coming up, it's Elevate Golf. Also more on the Masters. Mark Wiebe will be our guest. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
That was On the Range. Up next, we tee it up as we head to the front 9. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing. Are you driving an out-of-warranty car? It's only a matter of time before your out-of-warranty vehicle is in the shop costing you thousands of dollars. Auto repair costs are up nearly 20% from last year, which is 4 times the rate of inflation. If an unexpected breakdown happened today, would you be ready for that? Well, now you can be with a plan through CarShield.
Even if your car is just over 3 years old, it's still prone to expensive costs. Your car is more than just getting you from point A to point B. Traveling by car is a way of life. From picking up your kids to going to a new restaurant, cars are a daily essential. When you enroll in a car protection plan through CarShield, you can look forward to the following. The price will never go up no matter how many claims you file, or no matter how high the mileage on your car increases. CarShield offers protection plans that start as low as $100 per month. That's $100 per month. They have repair coverage for up to 5,000 different parts of your vehicle. Plus, when your car breaks down and you're stuck on the side of the road, you get 24/7 coast-to-coast roadside assistance. You also get complimentary towing and rental car options. CarShield has my back when my car breaks down, and they can have yours too. Call CarShield today at 800-465-6550 or visit carshield.com. It's CarShield, proud sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
Get ready to watch the legends of golf up close when they compete at historic Norwood Hills Country Club right here in St. Louis. The Ascension Charity Classic will be back again with some of golf's greatest names. Steve Stricker, Padraig Harrington, John Daly, David Duval, Bernard Longer, Justin Leonard, David Toms, and more will compete returning September 3rd through the 8th. Visit AscensionCharityClassic.com for information.
Darty Business Solutions has been enhancing the business of our customers for the last 37 years. How do we do it? Through our expertise in technology, better use of data and analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. We roll up our sleeves and collaborate. We build applications and effectively communicate with our partner clients to bring their goals and objectives to the finish line. Our award-winning Access Point program is a community game changer. With nearly 100 students in the program, mostly young African-American females are making between $55,000 and $60,000 per year right out of high school. That's right, $55,000 to $60,000 a year right after high school graduation. That's when they begin their training. CEO Ron Darty believes the talent is equally distributed, but access to that opportunity is not. So here's Access Point, providing more and more opportunity for those in and around our community. It's Darty Business Solutions.
Hi, this is Peter Jacobson, and you're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
I'm delighted to welcome the Amateur Players Tour to the Golf with Jay Delsing show. The APT team has worked so hard to establish a national golf tour for amateurs. Folks, don't miss out on this opportunity. If you love golf and ever wondered what all the fuss about tournament golf is, then this tour is for you. We just released the 2024 schedule, and it is a beast. There's 21 events currently in the metropolitan St. Louis area, with many more to come. But check out these golf courses: Paynes Valley, Ozark National, Stonewolf, Ambrier, Persimmon Woods, Gateway National, and a 36-hole event on Norwood's West Course, and many more. Okay, so the courses are certainly cool and nice, but what's really neat is the way the events are run and how they are run. The APT team does a fantastic job of closely monitoring handicaps and ensuring a good and fair competition. There are 5 divisions, a year-long points competition, major championships, elevated events, and much, much more. Right now, there are over 6,000 members in 41 different local chapters across the country. And all that's happened in just over 5 years. Join now and don't miss out on the best tournament golf in the country, run for amateurs by amateurs themselves. Go to amateurplayerstour.com. That's amateurplayerstour.com.
This is the Front Nine, presented by the Ascension Charity Classic. To learn more, visit AscensionCharityClassic.com.
I am sitting down this morning with Tyler Lowenstein. He is the Director of Fitness at Elevate Golf. Tyler, thanks for joining me today, man.
No problem. Thanks, Jay.
Okay, so one of the things, the coolest thing for me that really got me interested in Elevate Golf is the initial assessment, bro. I just feel like that's so crucially important. It gives you a baseline. It gives you a place to start and some place to measure from.
Yes, I agree. And I think that's really what sets us apart from everyone else. And, we've got athletes coming in that have been trying to get their training either from online or other things they're seeing on social media. And I think the initial evaluation, the assessment that we do with them is really a crucial aspect of our whole training program.
Well, Tyler, I'm just a firm believer, buddy, that if we can get people doing certain aspects physically for their golf game, they're going to see improvement.
They definitely are. And we're starting to see that now with the reassessments that I'm doing on the athletes that I initially did their assessments. And we can see the data on paper. We've got objective numbers showing them their increases and their improvements. And that's really nice for them to see because they can see all the hard work that they're putting into their training program and see the numbers. As
a player there, I felt, I was a product before any of this data-driven stuff, any of the tech. And I was like, it looks like I'm getting better. I feel like I'm getting better. But if I had numbers to back it up, it would really help my confidence.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it really just gives you that extra boost of confidence to show you that not only are you feeling better in all aspects too, people are coming in saying, throughout their workday, they're not having the pain that they were having. And then they're going out on the golf course and they're shooting better scores and they're hitting the ball farther. So it's just overall a pretty good comprehensive program.
So I'm with Tyler Lowenstein. He is the Director of Fitness at Elevate Golf. And Tyler, you have a doctorate in physical therapy, and you also have your medical level 2 TPI certification, which for me makes a big difference. I like having you with this kind of well-rounded knowledge of the whole body. So Tyler, can you give our listeners an example of something that you've noticed with one or two of your students where you guys have designed this, customized this program for him or her, and he or she has seen direct positive results and the numbers back it up?
Yeah, I can. I think I've come across all different types of athletes. I've come across high school athletes, college golfers, all the way up to, working aged guys that are just trying to improve their game and feel better. Some of the more interesting ones for me are these guys that are coming in with pain. They don't know why they have it. They're not sure. They pretty much just blame it on getting older. And my assessment really starts from the moment they walk in. I have a conversation with them, and I can draw a lot of information just from a conversation. The one I'm thinking of that I just assessed the other day, he walked into me, I'm talking to him, asking him what his hobbies are, what his occupation is. And, he works in IT, he's at a desk all day. And he says he's going and practicing. He's been practicing a lot, hasn't really noticed much of a change in his game. That's why he joined us at Elevate Golf. And I get to talking to him, and one of his biggest hobbies is playing the guitar. He golfs every day. And I'm talking to him, I ask him, what position he's sleeping in. He's sleeping on his side with the shoulders all curled up. And, we get to talking, and I'm explaining to him every aspect of your day. You are either sitting at your desk with your back hunched over a computer. Then you're driving home, hunched over the steering wheel. You're going to the range. You're hunched over. I can see it in his golf swing, in his golf posture. He's hunched over the ball. He doesn't have much of a hip hinge. He's reaching down with his arms, so his shoulders are in front of his body. And then he goes home and he goes to bed and he hunches back up. So
more of the same.
3 hours of his day, he's in that hunch position. So, really, right off the bat, I knew before I even laid hands on him that I needed to work on stretching out the tissues in the front, strengthening the tissues in the back to get him into a better posture. And then I see him, 2 weeks later, and he's like, wow, I feel better without even going out on the course yet. He just felt better in all aspects of his life.
Wow, that's fantastic. You know, Tyler, I'm going to be leaning on you a lot. This is such a cool segment, this training center. It's brought to you by Elevate Golf, and you have all of these students, we have these memberships, and we have all of these folks, and they're all walking, living, breathing examples of how this system works. And so it's really kind of fun, man.
Yeah, it really is. I've really enjoyed my time there so far.
Tyler, thanks for being with me, and we will talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good.
That was the Front Nine on Golf with Jay Delsing, presented by the Ascension Charity Classic. We're halfway home, and next, we'll make the turn.
Are you tired of watching your golf scores go up every year? Despite new equipment and even a couple lessons, you still fight that slice or your inability to get that ball up and down out of the bunker? Well, get ready to experience better golf with Elevate Golf. At Elevate Golf, we're changing the way golfers practice with our innovative and data-driven approach to learning and, most importantly, improving. We have an array of membership options where you can find the perfect fit for your golf, your lifestyle, and your budget. Whether you start in our full-service gym, the short game area that has real sand bunker, or one of our 7 TrackMan simulator bays, the team at Elevate Golf will do a complete assessment of you and your game, which is crucial because if you don't know where you're starting from, it's nearly impossible to attain a goal or a new level. Call us today at 636-265-0557 or visit us at elevategolf.com. That's ELV, the number 8, golf.com. Contact us today and get ready to play better golf.
Hi, this is Adam Betts from Family Golf and Learning Center. At FGLC here in Kirkwood, we feature a double-decker driving range, 2 large grass tees with Tahoma Bermuda grass. You want to work on your short game? We have a short game area too, which features a 20,000 square foot green, 3 bunkers, and Zoysia surrounds. Also at Family Golf and Learning Center, don't forget about our 9-hole par 3 course, the indoor TrackMan simulators, and our performance center. If you're looking for the best golf instruction, regardless of skill, we can help. Find out more at FamilyGolfOnline.com. That's FamilyGolfOnline.com. Family Golf and Learning Center. We make St. Louis better at golf.
If you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, any make or model, then you need to visit the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood. They are the official vehicle provider of the Golf with Jay Delsing show. My daughter and I both drive vehicles supplied by Colin and the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, and it's because we know we can trust them. They made the car buying experience painless and easy, and their customer service is second to none. Every single step of the car buying experience was taken care of for us. You can reach Colin at 314-966-0303, and he will answer all of your questions and put your mind at ease. The Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood has new or pre-owned vehicles to be purchased or leased, whichever you prefer. Once you visit the Dean Team Volkswagen on Manchester in Kirkwood, you'll be a customer for life because they will treat you like family. The Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, the official vehicle provider of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing. To connect with Jay, log on to jdelsinggolf.com. You'll see the latest in equipment, find the latest innovations in golf, and get tips from a PGA professional. That's jdelsinggolf.com.
Recently, my nephew called me and said his basement had flooded and all the hardwood, carpet, and flooring had to be replaced. I told him I have the perfect place for you to go. At Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture, this second-generation family-owned business treats everyone just like their family. Jared Capps is continuing his mom and dad's 50-year business tradition where honesty, transparency, and service carry the day. My nephew loved the luxury vinyl product. Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture has the largest selection in the area. Whether you prefer Mohawk and the wide variety of their product lines, I love the Rev Wood product, by the way, or Karastan or Pergo Elements line, Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture will literally have you covered. You have pets? Let Jared tell you about the many sustainable flooring and carpet options that are pet-friendly but also easily maintained to keep your floors looking great every day. And don't forget about their huge selection of Lazy Boy recliners. They are awesome and one of the biggest selections in the Midwest. Call them today at 618-936-0536 and get your free estimate or set up a consultation with one of their experts. You can also go to jerseyvillecarpetandfurniture.net. Proud sponsor of Golf with Jay Delsing.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing. We're halfway home and it's time to make the turn. Let's get back to Jay and Dan.
Reminder here on Golf with Jay Delsing, emails later in the show. Also, Mark Wiebe will be our guest as we talk to the British Open winner on the Seniors Tour, also two-time winner on the PGA Tour. I want to get into this, continue our visit with the Masters, and you had a company that would take golfers all over the place, all over the country, but you did it at the Masters, and it was probably a visit there, hollow grounds, that was second to none.
Danny, the very first time I stepped, so I had opportunity after opportunity to play Augusta when I was playing on the PGA Tour. And I decided I'm turning them down because I'm going to qualify. I'm going to get my butt in that tournament. And my first trip to Augusta is going to be down Magnolia Lane as a competitor.
Well,
didn't work out that way.
That's okay. 700 PGA Tour events, but not the Masters.
No, I know. It sucked. I'm still pissed about that. But anyway, so getting down there and just walking into the place, I couldn't believe it. And it was just spectacular. Kissing the ground.
You literally kissed the ground.
I did. I got down. I'm like this. And I also wanted to see, like, is this grass real? It looks like turf. There's not a cigarette butt, a fleck of paper, nothing. Through miles and miles and miles of this. It's really like a nursery, and it was an old nursery back in the day. So, yeah, it's special. When I was a kid, Danny, growing up, I loved the Masters, but I always wanted to win the U.S. Open. The older I got, I'd take the U.S. Open too. But man, the Masters,
pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
Tell the story or what it's like when you go down there about the pricing. The pricing is unique when you're a patron at the Masters.
It's so much. That's a great one, Danny. So your tickets are going to cost you an arm and a leg and your firstborn. No problem. Just get ready. You're going to unbuckle to get in there. Okay. And when you go out and you'll be walking around in it, you'll be like, oh yeah, this is this hole from looking at it on TV because you've seen it so many times, but you'll be blown away at how much more elevation there is in real life. The 9th and the 10th holes, for example, they stood out in my mind, Danny, and 18 for that matter. They're so much more uphill and downhill. 9 and 18 are straight uphill. 10 is almost like a ski slope down. It is so sharply downhill, and that will stick out in your mind. But when you go to Augusta and you go to get something to eat, you're thinking, oh boy, here we go. You've been to a Super Bowl, you go to a World Series, and it's
expensive.
$15 a beer, $20 a beer, and then $20 for a cheeseburger, and that's where. Not at Augusta, man. The prices are frozen in the mid-70s. It costs you $1 for a beer. It costs you $1 for a pimento cheese sandwich, which I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's really good. And they also have these egg salad sandwiches that are, I tried everything at least 3 or 4 times.
I bet. You could afford it with those prices.
I know. So D, I would take, I don't know, there were probably 12 to 14 guys in our party, and I'm like, guys, get it all. This is all, I got this all part of the deal. And you come out of there and it's $52. And guys have got
amazing
cheeseburger stuffed in their pockets and beers. And we got, and Danny, what they do is all of this is all private labeled Augusta made, meaning they make it for, they're making these, somebody's making these sandwiches for Augusta and putting them in their little green wrappers, and somebody's making these little ice creams, and they put these peach ice cream sandwiches, and they've got this little Augusta logo on it. The only things, D, that are not private labeled are the Snickers and the M&Ms. Those are all from Mars. So it's really super cool. And that sort of touch makes it so quaint to me. It's really charming. It's really special.
How about when you buy merchandise?
That's another story. So you walk in and you're like, what's that building over there? And you're like, that's a merchandise building. It's not a tent. It is a structure. And you see a line and you go like, nah, and people go, no, come on, let's go. This stuff moves around. So you're in a line, liken it to Disneyland or Disney World when you go with your family and you're standing there, except this thing moves. You're standing in line and always moving, and you're not standing in line much more than 10 minutes, and you're inside, and now there's merch. Man, towels. I bought everything. I bought towels, hats, shirts, the whole thing. And now those prices are not cheap, but they are not what they could be. Meaning, if they had this thing for $200, I'd probably still buy it, and it's $100. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So you buy a really nice golf shirt, maybe it's a P. Millar or whatever it is, and it's going to cost you $75. Okay? Not cheap, but not what it could be. Probably similar, D, to what we'd pay in the golf shops at home or wherever. So but guys, there is Augusta labels on logos on everything. It's interesting. And when you walk out of there, so Danny, I read, I read all this stupid stuff, but they had something where the average patron in Augusta, this was several years ago, spent $775. And guys, here's what happens. You walk out of there and you're like, what am I going to do with all this gear? Right next door, you will go straight into the next line and you ship it UPS to your house.
That's great.
It is unbelievable. If you don't want to ship it, right next door to that, lockers. You turn it in, you have your receipt, they give you a little claim tab, and so you don't have to walk around with all this stuff. So it's absolutely brilliantly done. The commerce part is spectacular. Long lines that move ridiculously fast. Same for the food. You get in, you get out, and you get back to the action. So it's really, really super cool.
That's Jay Delsing. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Coming up, Mark Wiebe will be Jay's guest. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
That was Making the Turn. Coming up, we head to the back nine. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
A professional golfer, as you watch on TV every Sunday afternoon, never ventures onto the course without his trusted caddy. This was true for me for my entire career. I want you to think of Powers Insurance as your insurance caddy that you never had. Just as my golf caddy helped me to assess risk on the golf course, Powers Insurance can do the same for you in your busy and complicated life. Tim Davis, COO at Powers Insurance, did exactly that for me and saved me over 50% on one of my coverages. A good insurance risk advisor can help you know when to take a chance or when it may be smarter to take a little more club. Give the folks at Powers Insurance a call and get a caddy for all of your insurance needs. Call them at 314-725-1414. That's 314-725-1414. That's Powers Insurance.
Hey, St. Louis. Eddie McVeigh here from Maggie O'Brien's. When you head downtown for a concert or cards or blues game, and now for the St. Louis City soccer game, please come see us at Maggie O'Brien's before and after your event. Take our shuttle to and from or stay in-house and watch your favorite team on our multiple high-def TVs. We look forward to seeing you soon at one of our 2 locations in Sunset Hills on South Lindbergh or downtown at the corner of Market and 20th Street. Union Station is next to us.
Do you remember the golden rule? I'm sure you do, but just in case, it goes like this. Treat people the way that you'd like to be treated. At People's National Bank, that one statement is the cornerstone of what this bank is all about. Locally owned, with 23 locations in Southern Illinois and the metropolitan St. Louis area, People's National Bank parlays a robust menu of commercial or personal banking services you could possibly need with a friendly yet hardworking Midwestern attitude. Maybe you just want to do business with a bank whose entire team lives in the same neighborhoods as we do. If you're like me and doing business with someone you trust is important to you, then People's National Bank is the bank for you. Jason Rantham, local president, is here for you to call, and he'll answer any questions you may have. His personal cell is 314-974-2243. You can also find us online at peoplesnationalbank.com. People's National Bank is here for all of your banking needs.
This is Chris Nagel. And you're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
Hey, Jay Delsing here, and I know I speak for all of we golfers. We're always looking to try to improve our game. For me, that means I go to one place, and that one place is Pro-Am Golf in Brentwood. Tom DeGrand opened his family business in 1975 with a goal of providing St. Louis with the finest in golf equipment, instruction, and technology. Whether you need a new rangefinder, your first set of clubs, or anything else you can think of, Pro-Am Golf has just what you're looking for. If you're a scratch handicap or you carry a 20 handicap, come visit Pro-Am Golf and inquire about a lesson from Tom DeGrand. He's been fixing golf swings and making St. Louis better at golf for over 40 years. Go get your gear, lessons, or anything golf-related where I go, and that's Pro-Am Golf in Brentwood. You can also visit them online at Pro-Am Golf USA. That's ProAmGolfUSA.com. It's Pro-Am Golf, proud sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing. The Back Nine is presented by Pro-Am Golf, located in Brentwood. See what Pro-Am Golf can do for you.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing, and I am sitting down with, my dear friend, long time, I don't even know how to describe you, Mark Wiebe. Thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Oh, Jay, it's nice to be back with my brother, man.
I'm sitting here prepping and looking at some of the stuff that you've done in your career. Gosh, we have so much to talk about in the world of golf. But Wiebe, I just want people to know a little bit about your career. You had 8 professional wins, 2 on the PGA Tour. As I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about, I can still remember you holding that putt on the 15th green at Kingsmill on the river course, and you throwing your putter. I think it was John Mahaffey in the playoff, and you won your first PGA Tour event. I got up off the couch. I don't know where the hell I was, maybe in the locker room. It was just awesome.
Well, it was, that's an incredible feeling, obviously, because all the work that we all put in. It's nice to see some of that work pay off, and the grind and the discipline and the hours and the sacrifices and all that stuff that goes along with it. Incredible win. And it was John Mahaffey. And it was actually on the 16th hole. It was a par 4. And I did birdie, but I that's a long story, but I popped up my 3-wood, and on a hole I hit 3-wood 9-iron into in regulation. I popped my 3-wood and had a 4-iron in to that same hole and hit this incredible 4-iron in there to about, I don't know, maybe 15 feet, and then made the putt, and it was over. When that happens, it happens in such a second that it's over. And you go from being in that mode of grind and golf and focus and concentration and all that stuff to it's over. So I remember it just like, like you do. I remember it like it was yesterday, although we just did the math and it was about 40 years ago.
Only 40 years ago. My gosh.
Incredible.
And then I know you won at the Hardys, but I want to talk a little bit about the Champions Tour, because on the regular tour, we really didn't get a chance to play for much of the bigger money once Tiger came out. But the Champions Tour was really good to you. You won 5 times out there, a major championship at Royal Birkdale. So you won the Senior Open Championship and almost $6 million. And that take us through that feeling. You knew what it was like to win. You're a champion, not only on the golf course, but in life. But to be able to hoist the Open Championship trophy, the Senior Open Championship trophy, has to be something like, I don't know what.
You're right. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Again, all that work you do. And that week was funny because I was delayed in my flight getting there. So I got there a day later than I wanted to. So it kind of screwed up my whole schedule, my practice rounds. So I'm out there late, getting a practice round. I think it was Wednesday afternoon late. working on some drives out on the course, and my driver was finicky, but I thought, man, if I can get my driver in play and keep it out of those pot bunkers, I may have a chance this week. Who knows? And so then you just go play. And I'm talking about this with my son Gunnar right now, and getting that trust, not expectations. Those are not good. But I wanted to get my confidence high with low expectations. And I also wanted to play the best I can play. So I started figuring all that out prior to the Senior Open. And I felt like I had a good handle on management. And I felt like I could manage my game. And usually in these major tournaments, it doesn't take 25 under to win. It just, in this case, it took 9 under. So, but it was an awesome feeling. The playoff with Bernie was tough because we did 2 holes that day, but he's a little bit slow, so he was in the last 2 with David Frost.
That's a really kind way of saying it, Wiebe. He's a little bit slow, and we all love Bernard Langer.
Yes, I mean, what a great person he is, but he's pretty slow, and he was playing with David Frost, another friend of both of ours, who can be kind of slow at times too. Anyway,
neither of them are fast, Wiebe, like we are.
Yeah, I don't know if I've had my moments of slowing down, but it's never. I needed to know about it because you're so lost in your game.
Yeah.
But we played in the second to last group, and we had to wait for those guys to finish. And so there was a lot of, I didn't think I was going to win. And then Bernie had trouble on the last hole and ended up having a bad hole. We're in a playoff, and then 2 holes, and it's pretty much pitch black. And we had to go out the next morning, and we did another 3 holes. So it was, once it got to just he and I, when you either win or you're going to finish second. So either one is great. But now that I'm here, I don't want to finish second. I want to win. So you have it's such a mind game of, as much as I wanted to win, I couldn't think about winning. I had to think about each shot one at a time. And it sounds, everyone says it, it's the hardest thing to do, and it's the easiest thing to say. But I think that was probably my best moment of living in the now, in the present. And I was so good that week at that. I just didn't let anything bother me, and I was so focused on this shot right now that I didn't have any room in my mind to think what it would be like to win. So it was great. I was by myself, had no family. Kathy wasn't over. So the celebration was a little bit different, but it was sure great. I mean, obviously it was to win a major on Senior or on the regular tour. It's a major. They label it a major, and probably my favorite tournament ever in the world to play in is the British Open, the Open. And so this was just the old guy's version of it. So it was kind of a big deal. It was unbelievable experience. I don't even know how to describe. Again, it's the same thing. You go from being in the battle with a fellow competitor, with the field, and with your mind. And it's just crazy to try to get control when your mind is ping-ponging around and thinking about all these things, and you're busy trying to stay in the moment. And all that stuff was, that particular week was just, I was spot on. I wish I could have done that more in my life. I don't know why that particular tournament, but it was great. And that golf course is an incredible golf course. You're exhausted each round when you're done, because you're not exhausted from walking or swinging. You're exhausted from mental fatigue because you've grinded. So each night of the tournament in a major, especially if you're in it, in the hunt, so to speak, you're just gummy at the end. You're just exhausted, and then you have to replenish somehow and be ready to go do it again the next day. And there's so much of a challenge that I don't think people know. Fans don't realize. They just see the golf and the good golf or the bad golf, and they judge you by that. They don't really understand what it goes into. And I don't think people understand the thrill, because I think, there's so many guys on tour that win multiple times that when you get somebody that doesn't win all the time, but when they win sometimes, occasionally, it's just a different environment. And the thrill of it is probably, I think people, my friends and family obviously knew the thrill, but I don't think the regular golf fan understands. They just think, he's won before. It's just another win. I think of it bigger than that on whoever does it. I think it's a big deal.
I'm visiting with Mark Wiebe, the 2013 Senior British Open champion at Royal Birkdale. And one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, and you just touched on it for a second, there's I noticed such a variance in a few tournaments that I won. I was so into the moment and so able to handle the distractions, but so many other times I was bad at it, or things bothered me. And I just really couldn't differentiate between the two very often.
It's hard. I mean, it's hard. And I think obviously experience plays a big role in that. Being in that moment and failing, you kind of go, you know what, I would have done, if I had that to do over again, I'd be a little better at this. And I wouldn't give so much attention to that. And I'd be more into thinking this. I mean, I worked with Chuck Hogan on my mental game for years. And even though I don't see Chuck anymore, I hear him all the time. And when I'm playing, I can hear him. And I'm seeing, now that I'm teaching, I see it come out in my teaching at any level of golfer, because we're all just trying to get better. If I'm an 18, or if I'm teaching an 18 handicap, they want to be a 15 handicap. If I'm teaching a 10 handicap, they want to be single digit. So there's times that you can share with people those thoughts that you're thinking. And when that little person comes up and goes, "Ooh, don't hit it right, there's water over there," and sure enough, you hit it right, we're in the water. So trying to figure out how to help people manage their games and stay in that present. I think the more times you do it, the better you get at it. I don't think it's not bowling where you get a perfect score mentally. There's always something that you were a little bit, I don't know if weak is the right word, but you weren't as strong in certain categories. And one of them is just that, being able to not let the distractions distract, taking those and turning them around into how can I handle that? And when you play good and you're good at it, then you almost need to memorize, why was I good at it? What did I do? How come I didn't let the distractions get me this week? And last week they did. I don't know if that's ever ending. It's always there, but I do believe the more times you get in that spot, and I think you do have to get there a couple times and not succeed to realize how much you want to succeed, and the things to work on. I believe that if you're gonna, well, it's just like this. If I want to get better out of the sand, I go hit bunker shots and I work on my bunker game. If I want to be better off the tee, then I go practice my driver. If I want to be better mentally, I got to go practice that. I can't just go, oh, I'm going to be better mentally today. It doesn't work that way. So you need to put in those times of, and it might even be a practice round where you work on your mental game and staying focused. Or there's a guy like David Frost or Bernard Langer who have to stay focused the whole day nonstop, and they go into a different personality, and that's great. And then there's Fuzzy Zoller and Lee Trevino, Peter Jacobson, guys that look like they're having a great time and they're entertaining and they know their role. And I think once you get to a spot, there's no certain way to be, but I think all of those different personas are good at staying in the moment, playing golf one shot at a time, not getting into the outcome, more into how I'm going to do this. I need to perform the way I perform, and this is how I do it. And it sounds so easy when you're talking about it, but when you get out there and your heart's beating a little faster, you know you're playing good, and you're making decisions that could change your life. So I think it's just being getting better and better and more accomplished through experience, whatever your experience is. As long as you're growing, I think that you can reach your goals. But man, it's hard. It's hard to go out there and just say, okay, I'm going to be super great today and I'm going to be in the moment. That lasts for about a second. You go out and you're in the moment for one hole, and then second tee, you're going, you know what? If I can birdie here and then the 8 to 5.
It's
and
so true.
You're not in the moment anymore. You're in a different moment, and you're into outcomes, and you're into what happens if. And oh my God, that's just that battle of when you get to your level, my level, professional golfers that have played professionally and succeeded. You just get to a level that hopefully you've learned enough to handle different situations. But boy, it's a constant, and I don't think guys practice it enough. Or girls too, anybody. I don't think it's practiced enough. I think what we have now is a bunch of teachers. They're on all the social media that never have played on the tour, have no idea what it's like. They only know what people have told them. They haven't experienced it themselves. And that's where we're at in golf. We're in technology, instruction, all of this stuff. And I'm thinking, who's helping you how to stay in the moment? Who's helping you with not letting outside things bother you or get into your head or even notice outside things? That's all goes into this. And I really don't think the fan understands, only because it's never been told them. I mean, nobody's told them about it. They just assume everybody's really good.
This is Mark Wiebe, and this is Golf with Jay Delsing. We'll be right back with more.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing. The Back Nine is presented by Pro-Am Golf, located in Brentwood. See what Pro-Am Golf can do for you.
Redbird Heating and Cooling sponsors the Veterans Vocational Apprentice Program. Jed Dickinson, a retired Navy man, will teach, mentor, and sign off on educational and mechanical work hours to help you get fully licensed while you work and get paid by the company. What a great way to launch your career as a fully licensed HVAC specialist. Call Redbird Heating and Cooling today at 314-320-9507. That's Redbird Heating and Cooling.
WXOS HD1 East St. Louis 101 ESPN is driven by Auto Centers Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty and 30-day return.
Hey, this is Jay Delsing for SSM Health Physical Therapy. Our golf program has the same screening techniques and technology as the pros on the PGA Tour use. SSM Health Physical Therapy has the Titleist Performance Institute trained physical therapists that can perform the TPI screening on you, as well as use the K-Vest 3D motion capture system. Proper posture, alignment, etc. can help you keep your game right down the middle. We have 80 locations in the St. Louis area. Call 800-518-1626 or visit them on the web at ssmphysicaltherapy.com. Your therapy, our passion.
Hello, friends. This is Jim Nance, and you are listening to Golf with my friend Jay Delsing.
Daugherty Business Solutions has been enhancing the business of our customers for the last 37 years. How do we do it? Through our expertise in technology, better use of data and analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. We roll up our sleeves and collaborate. We build applications and effectively communicate with our partner clients to bring their goals and objectives to the finish line. Our award-winning Access Point program is a community game changer. With nearly 100 students in the program, mostly young African-American females are making between $55,000 and $60,000 per year right out of high school. That's right, $55,000 to $60,000 a year right after high school graduation. That's when they begin their training. CEO Ron Daugherty believes the talent is equally distributed, but access to that opportunity is not. So here's Access Point, providing more and more opportunity for those in and around our community. It's Daugherty Business Solutions.
Get ready to watch the legends of golf up close when they compete at historic Norwood Hills Country Club right here in St. Louis. The Ascension Charity Classic will be back again with some of golf's biggest names: Steve Stricker, Padraig Harrington, John Daly, David Duval, Bernard Langer, Ernie Els, and more will return September 3rd through the 8th at Norwood Hills. All tournament proceeds go to area charities serving North St. Louis County youth and families. Sponsorship opportunities, Pro-Am foursomes, and more information available for you at AscensionCharityClassic.com.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing. I've got my buddy, and I just have to say this one more time, 2013 Senior Open Champion at Royal Birkdale, Mark Wiebe. We're talking about the mental side of the game, and I totally agree with you. It is so overlooked. Everybody wants to be on a TrackMan, and everybody wants to have this analyzed and that analyzed, and in the meantime, they're not going to the mental gym at all.
Well, if they are, we don't hear about it. It must be boring to report if they do that. But I mean, you and I both know, because we have hindsight now and we're older. If we went back, I can tell you without a doubt, I would work 100% more on my mental.
100%, Wiebe. I am totally in agreement with you.
I wouldn't go try to hit it longer or hit more greens or anything. I would go to the short game area, learn how to putt and chip, and I would learn how to think my way around the golf course. And it's just, again, I think, I don't know because it's not reported, but I think we're so busy as a golf culture working on clubs that are brand new, and I got to have that to be a good driver, or I got to have that to be a good putter or chipper. I need this certain wedge. What you actually need is to pick what you want to, your clubs you want to play, and then go learn how to hit them, and learn how to practice and learn how to think. And the mental game is just, again, my wife told me for, 2 or 3 or 4 years when we were married, you got to see somebody. And she pushed me hard to go visit with Chuck Hogan. It's the best move I ever made in my golf career, to work on my mental game. And it took my wife saying over and over again, you know what, you need to go talk to somebody. We got to get into a place, because the guys and girls that are winning are in that place.
Yeah.
And they're not, when people go, what's your strength? And I said, well, I'm not the longest, not even close. I was on the tour, I was in the middle somewhere with wooden drivers. So how can I go beat somebody that's really good at ball striking, like a Bernard Langer or David Frost? What am I going to do to beat them? Well, I'm going to have to outthink them, and I'm going to have to be super strong mentally, and I'm going to have to be bulletproof when I go out there. And if I have a bad hole, which I'm going to have, okay,
yeah,
it's a bad hole.
Yeah,
that's just one. There's a whole bunch. There's 72 holes. I had one. So how about one bad one and 71 good ones? How about that? It's a constant. I think if you talk to anyone that's our age, they would probably tell you the same. Now, maybe there'd be some guys that say, no, I would have learned how to hit it farther. Well, we didn't know when we were playing that length was going to be incredibly advantageous, because it always was. But we have equipment now that helps you not hit it so crooked. It really has become a bomber's
absolutely sport. It really has. Weaves, I want to switch gears with you now. This is Mark Wiebe I'm visiting with. Let's talk about LIV, and let's talk about the big divide in golf. The first thing that comes to your mind when you think of LIV?
Entertainment. That's the first thing. I've watched it. I enjoy it. The music's not something I do, but God, everybody anymore has music in their cart. The other day I had the college basketball, the March Madness we played, and I had the speaker on, and we're listening to the CU game.
Right.
It's so things have changed now. Tournament golf is different. You and I have talked about this, and I've talked about this with lots of people. there's just not enough room on our tour for everyone to play. And there is a line that goes forever of great players like Aubert and Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas. There's a line of these players. And so we are taking away spots, but the line doesn't go away. So we need other tours. And if we're not going to make ours bigger and have a North and South or an AFL, NFL or something like that, then there's got to be another tour for somebody, because there's not enough room. You can't keep giving out cards and not be able to play. Any other tour is great. I think competition, since that's what we were told our whole tour lives, it's the tour's based on competition. Yet the tour doesn't want any competition. So with themselves. So I'm all about competition. I'm all about more players having opportunity. I'm not about making it smaller. Now, that being said, LIV is smaller, but LIV is more of, it seems like, entertainment. I mean, I watch it because do you know how good those players are? And they've been badmouthed for this long for taking a herd load of money. I don't badmouth anybody. You can do whatever you want, and you don't have to check with anybody to make sure it's okay, and you don't need the approval by whoever to make a decision that affects only you and your family. So, I mean, when I watch LIV, I like there's some things I really like. I thought the shotgun was crazy when they first did it, but all the players play in the same conditions. They're all done at the same time. There is no Scotty Scheffler being done and waiting an hour to see if he wins or not. It's just different. It's just different. That's all I say. I don't think it's bad. I think it's different. I have no hostility like I hear some of our fellow PGA pros just bad-mouthing the crap out of John Rahm or Ian Poulter or Paul Casey they have Henrik Stenson. They've got some super studs on that tour. And again, I'm a tour guy, but I'm also a little bit, I don't know the right word, ashamed a little bit of how we've acted as a group. I don't like the way that we have a commissioner that it seems like makes decisions on his own, but he's not the president of a company. He's the commissioner. And this is what's going to happen if you change the tour around and make smaller fields. Your guys are going to look for a place to play.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, because you know what, the label is professional golfer, not professional PGA Tour golfer.
The mission statement of the PGA Tour is to provide playing opportunities for professional golf. I don't begrudge anyone for taking the money. Now, coming back and suing us because of this, that, and the other, that was a little over the top. But when you start thinking of our commissioner and what he's done on his own and with his cronies, Jimmy Dunn and some of these other guys, I don't understand how he's still got a job.
I'm in that same line of you. I don't get it. If I don't perform, I'm out of a job. And if you don't perform when we played the tour, we're out. Yet you can go perform and do whatever you want to do, and you can get the votes because we watched it happen. As soon as Dean Beeman was out of commissioner, we got 2 attorneys were our next 2 commissioners.
Yep.
So I don't know if that's right or wrong. I'm just looking at what's going on right now, and everybody's saying the tour's in a mess and everything. Well, we didn't put it there.
I don't understand. How do you take this money that Fenway Sports Group is now investing in, which I'm not really sure what they get for their money, what they're investing in, and they're going to give it $750 million is going to be split up between 36 people, and somehow or another, they have drawn a line in the sand that says 193 players are going to get a portion of this money, but not 194.
That's what I mean. It seems like there is a secret going on. And The guys that are making pot full of money, which is, hey, great. That doesn't bother me a bit. Those guys aren't going to complain because everything's fine for them. But I'll tell you, you watch one of the superstars all of a sudden doesn't quite perform. And I use Justin Thomas as an example. All of a sudden, he's not in the top 70 last year. Oops. Do you still like the way it's being run? If you fall out, Jordan Spieth falls out. I don't predict this because I think those guys are awesome for the tour. Awesome. Unbelievable golf, unbelievable work ethic. They do everything they can to want to be the best. And I take nothing away from that. But I want to hear the guy like Justin Thomas all of a sudden is outside looking in, or Jordan, or name somebody on the tour that's all of a sudden on the outside looking in. They don't probably like that anymore.
I got it. And I'm visiting with Mark Wiebe, my buddy from the PGA for 25 years on the PGA Tour. Mark, I don't understand the Wyndham Clarks, the Max Homas of the world, how they have suddenly forgotten how, as little as 3 years ago, Wyndham Clark would have not been relevant. Now he's on the Rory bandwagon where they want the tour to only be, they want it smaller, tighter, less opportunity. How does that change in your mind? I don't get that.
Yeah, that's a tough one for me too, buddy. I just don't. I do not believe in that. I wholeheartedly do not believe in that. I think the tour should run at max every week they can. I think the commissioner, to me, this is just my opinion. I think the commissioner should commission every player on the tour. And I think his job should be to get as many guys making as much money as possible, not as much money for these 50 guys as possible. You've already skewed it to where these signature events that guys get in, and then the guys that don't are actually competing against each other on the money list at the end of the year. The signature tournaments are 50 or 70 players. No, if there's a cut, it's a couple guys miss the cut, and they're guaranteed $4 or $5 million for winning when you only have that many guys. Yet at the end of the year, this guy over here that didn't get in the signature events is on the same money list as the guys that do. Well, what the heck? What is that all about? Why don't you just give those guys money? If you want to give the top players, then just give them money. Here, thanks for playing. Here's a check for $4 million. Thanks for playing. That's just an appreciation. Now back to business. Yeah, we have a money list, and we're going to go on a points system, and we're not going to go on money because this is ridiculous. So a guy breaking into the tour right now that's not in the signature events. Now, there will be an exception every once in a while because remember I said there's a big, long line of super great players that are waiting their turn. But you're not letting them come on for their turn. You're making it so hard for the guys to climb up and so hard for the guys to drop out. You're already playing for, I don't even know how much more money on these signature events. What's going on? Where's our commissioner? Where's the guy looking out for the little guy?
I can remember having a little bit of red wine over at your house for the International and us talking about, wouldn't it be cool if we had a national and American tour and there was a draw or something in each year? Oh, I'm on the national side this year. I'm on the and we had more tournaments and we brought events to Tucson every year, not just every couple of years. How about, and there were so many cities around that could use the charitable raise that the tour does, and provide more opportunities and even have maybe 2 tournaments during a week. Is that crazy?
No, tennis does it. I think it's awesome. I see nothing wrong with it. Tennis does it. Other sports do it. It's not just tennis. There's multiple tournaments going on. There's that many golfers. So we have the golfers. Honestly, if you just let some guys, when they get on the tour, actually play, and stop cutting these fields and stop doing 50-man fields. If you want to do that, make it unofficial money. You can still go make a herd load of money. You got to make the tour should be competitive in the right way, in the proper way. Not, I mean, can you imagine you and I getting on the tour right now? We're not in the signature events, but we want to get out there and become exempt. Well, do you know how hard that is?
Oh, yeah.
When you keep taking away spots, you keep taking away exempt spots, and then you say, well, it was never really the number. The guys making cuts, why was it ever 70? It just was 70. We should go lower. Or the fields are too big, we can't, it hurts TV. Well, you know what? Then deal with it. Deal with it. Don't take away jobs. Don't do that. That's not right. I mean, there's too much. There's too much. And I'm sensitive to it because I got a son that wants to play. And he's a professional golfer. So he's playing on the DP World Tour. That's where he qualified. That's where he's in. He didn't make the tour. So that's what's going on. I mean, we have to have more tours or you tell these people that are waiting in line to go away then. So you're not going to get in. You're not going to get in. Stop waiting. I mean, well, my thought is if you had a player in there that was not a superstar player, just a player that played the tour, that was good at business. And I think about like Peter Jacobsen. If a guy like Peter Jacobsen was the commissioner, at least he would be thinking about and be sensitive to every player, not just the top.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing, and I'm visiting with Mark Wiebe. Folks, we'll be right back. More with Golf with Jay Delsing. Are you driving an out-of-warranty car? It's only a matter of time before your out-of-warranty vehicle is in the shop costing you thousands of dollars. Auto repair costs are up nearly 20% from last year, which is 4 times the rate of inflation. If an unexpected breakdown happened today, would you be ready for that? Well, now you can be with a plan through CarShield. Even if your car is just over 3 years old, it's still prone to expensive costs. Your car is more than just getting you from point A to point B. Traveling by car is a way of life. From picking up your kids to going to a new restaurant, cars are a daily essential. When you enroll in a car protection plan through CarShield, you can look forward to the following. The price will never go up no matter how many claims you file, or no matter how high the mileage on your car increases. CarShield offers protection plans that start as low as $100 per month. That's $100 per month. They have repair coverage for up to 5,000 different parts of your vehicle. Plus, when your car breaks down and you're stuck on the side of the road, you get 24/7 coast-to-coast roadside assistance. You also get complimentary towing and rental car options. CarShield has my back when my car breaks down, and they can have yours too. Call CarShield today at 800-465-6550 or visit carshield.com. It's CarShield, proud sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
For the best in Italian cuisine in St. Louis, look no further than Paul Manno's, located in Chesterfield. It's traditional Italian cooking, and their best ingredient, it's their tradition. It's cooking like Paul's grandmother used to make and like his mother still prepares today. There are no corners cut at Paul Manno's. From greeting you at the door to the pasta you'll share with your family, Paul Manno's is committed to bringing you their very best anytime you share a meal at their place. It's Paul Manno's, located in Chesterfield.
So you've been hearing me talk about one of our community's greatest contributors and most philanthropically inclined companies. Yes, of course, I'm talking about Marcone. They're the largest distributor of General Electric appliance parts in North America. Did you know that Marcone is also the largest and most trusted supplier of commercial and residential appliance parts, HVAC, plumbing, commercial kitchens, and pools and spas? All of that's in North America as well. That's right, Marcone does all that. Marcone is committed to supporting our first responders, all the branches of service in our military, our police and firefighters, and many more. From the viewing deck at the Ascension Charity Classic, founded in honor of our military heroes, to their commitment to Wreaths Across America program, Marcone is here for you and your family as well as your community. That's Marcone, the official sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
This is Adam Betts from Family Golf and Learning Center, located in Kirkwood. Our motto is play your best golf. We have the best instruction for every skill level. 2 female instructors along with our 8 PGA instructors. We're there for the kids and the adults who are starting to play and trying to refine their game. Family Golf and Learning Center features a double-decker driving range, grass tees, and a short game area, along with indoor simulators and a performance center. That's not all. Don't forget about our Back Nine Bar and Grill. Find out how we can help you and your family. Head to familygolfonline.com. That's familygolfonline.com. It's Family Golf and Learning Center, where we make St. Louis better at golf.
Welcome back. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. I'm sitting down with my buddy Mark Wiebe, and we are talking all things golf. We talked a little bit about LIV. We talked about the turmoil, Weebs, that the PGA Tour is dealing with. What did you think about when the USGA and the powers that be decided to roll the golf ball back?
Ooh, boy.
I was like, are you guys reading the room?
I didn't know what to think, because I was kind of so with all of this technology that's gone on, and all of us saying the same thing, the heads of drivers are too big, the balls don't curve anymore. So all of these things are happening, and there's nothing about it. And then all of a sudden it's, hey, we're going to roll the ball back. Wait, what?
That's what I said. I didn't understand it. I felt like they missed the big stuff.
I'm with you. Make a ball that curves more, and this is the thing. But this has been going around for so long. Back in the dark ages, when you and I played the tour, we were talking about this. When we went from wooden drivers to metal woods, you and I were on the tour, I believe, at that time.
We were. Yeah.
So, and I was one of the last guys to change, because how could you have a metal wood that goes farther and straighter? I'm the same guy swinging, but they figured it out to where everyone changed to metal woods. So we've seen some changes. I mean, the 60-degree wedge was invented while we were on the tour.
Right.
The hybrid was invented when we were on the tour, unless you're talking about back in the day of the Ginty and Baffler and all that kind of stuff. But we've seen the technology. Why they picked the ball, I understand the courses are becoming obsolete, but that's also how you measure and you compare history. So Cherry Hills, for instance, didn't change a whole bunch, because I was a member there for, 30 years, I think. It could handle the change in golf, because they could make narrower fairways. They could make the fairways firmer and the greens firmer, and make it a priority and hit the greens. Then they found out that guys were hitting it so far with 2 irons that they didn't need to hit drivers anymore. So the USGA, I think, was looking at all of this, but I was dumbfounded when that decision came, because, like I said, you and I had conversations about stuff, and it was never about making the ball shorter. We said, why don't you just go back to having it curve more?
How about playing out of the rough? Yeah, playing out of the rough, or, oh my gosh.
Yes. There's ways to combat that. But I don't know. In the USGA, the almighty, and you have mixed emotions on the tour. I noticed that the Rory, the mouthpiece of something, gives his, a lot of these golfers think because they're great golfers, they're smarter. They're really not smarter. They're just great golfers. I value everyone's opinion. I don't value Rory's opinion over anyone else. He's just a better golfer. There's a whole bunch of guys that I'm sure are smarter that aren't as good a golfer, but the press doesn't want to talk to them. So I don't know. I would take a survey. I wouldn't just survey the top 30. I would survey, if it's me, every tour player. I want to know what you're thinking about this golf ball rollback. That's, if I was USGA, that's what I'd be doing. I'd ask every player.
Do you see a day when LIV and the best players in the world are united again, playing in the same tournaments?
I do. I do. And we're going to have them, because we're going to have some of those LIV guys in majors. The problem is not all of the LIV guys, and there's only 48 of them, or 52 of them, or whatever the number is now. But I do see that. I think it would be made for TV. Are you kidding me? That would be, I'd like to invest in that, actually, but not with the way we have it set up now, because we have too much animosity towards the guys that leave, like they're like they're, I don't know, they're an outcast now. And I'm like, they're still great golfers, guys. They're still great golfers. And they, I mean, I do see a time, I think it would be awesome, and do a match play event like the Ryder Cup or something, or whatever you want to do. You could put those two tours battling each other, and you could do it. You could probably do that half a dozen times a year, but you could at least do it once a year and have a Super Bowl of golf at least. But there's so much that has to be done. You got to get the world ranking points back up again for all players, instead of watching Dustin Johnson really go outside of the top 200 in the world. You really think he's outside of the top 200 in the world?
Not a chance.
I mean,
there's
no chance.
Greg Norman was also incredibly naive, thinking that he was going to be able to start this thing on a shoestring with it highly unorganized, and think that they were going to get world golf rankings right away. I just, golfers, even though some of our powers that be, we make us crazy. We all know they're super slow in getting to the point and getting decisions made. I mean, it's aggravatingly slow, but I never thought that they'd just turn around and give them world golf rankings just because they were good players. Have you seen any of the Full Swing episodes?
I have. Yeah, Kathy and I watched that.
Okay, cool. Because this is what I wanted to tell you, because we know that the 60-degree wedge was created while we were on tour. We know some of the other things that you mentioned were created on tour. You know what wasn't created on our tour when we played Wiebe was the private plane, because we never flew on one.
Right. Well, that's funny, because Kathy and I watched. There's a lot of it. There's the Full Swing Golf. There's a tennis one. There's Formula One. So you get to see how everybody lives. And there's even a surfer one that we've watched. And it's kind of the same thing as Full Swing. But on these other ones, they show you not the superstars flying in the private jets, because people probably think all golfers fly around in private jets.
I know.
And no, sorry, some of us still sit and coach when we're going to a tournament.
And we're carrying our own luggage.
Or we might be driving because the flights are too expensive. Who knows?
Yeah.
But we don't get to hear any of that, which I find probably at least as interesting as the guys that are in their private planes.
I think so too. Mark, I heard Justin Thomas say to Jordan Spieth, well, it's only a 40-minute trip to Tulsa. And I'm like, Tulsa is one of the hardest places to get to. Well, I mean, if I leave from my home, I know it's at least two stops on a plane. If I drive, it's 7-8 hours. How are they getting there in 40 minutes?
You know how they are. And listen, I that's awesome.
More power to them.
You can do that. That's great to be able to do that, but just know that's a small percentage of guys that are doing that. If you take all of the guys that are on the tour, that's a small percentage of guys that are flying privately, or have their own planes, or lease, or whatever, net jets, or whatever.
All those goodies. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk to you about is our buddy Joe LaCava got caught up in a firestorm at the Ryder Cup, and I'd love to hear your opinion about all of that stuff. Hatgate. I really truly believe Patrick Cantlay, as he was playing, without his hat, really didn't know what the crowd was. They knew they were giving him trouble for not wearing the hat, but I don't believe he knew of all the hullabaloo that kind of was created while the round was going on. At least that's what he said. But what was your take, Wiebe?
The first thing I'm thinking of is he's getting married the week after the Ryder Cup. If he wears a visor, is he going to have no tan? I don't. Or
that's a great thought.
Well, that's the first thing I thought of. And then, of course, you never get to hear the truth. He said, no, the hat didn't fit right. Okay, leave him alone. If he wants to wear a hat, or if he doesn't want to wear a hat, why do we have to go into the hat gate? And then I thought it just turned into, it's so wild, because for so long, the Ryder Cup never had these stupid stories like this. It was great stories of what great golfers were, not what they wore on their heads or what shoes they wear or what sweater they're wearing. Or it's just become this, who cares? I mean, honestly, I want to watch the Ryder Cup. I don't want to talk about all the hats and stuff. The whole thing with LaCava, I don't really know what happened. I'd love to talk to Joey about it. But as a viewer, and I'm watching him and he's doing all this, I watched Rory. We didn't back off the stage and let Rory have when he wanted to. And I don't really think LaCava was in Rory's way, because I think Joey's been around enough. Now, maybe he was in the fringe. I don't know. I wasn't there. I only can see what I saw on TV. But I just thought it was somebody acting like a baby because the team that they're playing made a long putt. And so then he was edgy. And I don't blame him. It's the Ryder Cup. It's edgy. But to make a scene and then to have, Lowry get involved and be yelling back and forth, I'm like, honestly, guys, are we like little 10-year-olds here playing, or
we are? Can
we play like adults and like it's been for years and years and years and years? Can we just do that?
I
was with you. I'm a viewer going, holy crap!
I know, what the heck are they? I mean, are we gonna have a golf fight?
Yeah, really. Are we going to duke it out?
I know. So, I mean, if we're duking it out, I'm on Joe LaCava's side, bud.
Yeah, I want him on my team.
I want him on my team for sure. I got a kick out of I don't know Dan Rappaport, but he was on Full Swing quite a bit, and he said something that this made me chuckle when he said, everybody thought these live guys were going to go over to live and then go away. And I'm like, who thought that? I thought they're going over there, they're going to play, and Dustin Johnson's still going to probably win a major, and Brooks Koepka's still going to win a major, and John Rahm hadn't been out there. But I never imagined they'd go to live and go away. Did you?
No.
I didn't get that.
No, I don't get it either. That's what I mean. It's hard. It's kind of like the news. It's the political part of it is just like, tell me the truth. Just tell me the truth. These are great golfers. I mean, all of them are. And okay, a couple of them are a little bit older. Westwood and Poulter have been around the block, but those are the guys I want in my Ryder Cup room that have been there and know and can relate and tell you about their experiences. And to not have Sergio on the team, stuff like that. I think they were trying to make them go away, but the majors, if you qualify, you're in. So I think for right now, that's the only time we're going to see some of the live guys. But I want to see those guys. I want to see Koepka play. That guy is amazing. He's amazing.
I want to see him play on those great storied venues. You were talking about that earlier, about how you can compare. I mean, maybe a world tour comes out of this. What do you think? Maybe there's a 15 event world tour, and then the PGA Tour goes back to that, and the world tour is a little more selective. I'm not sure.
I think that's a great idea. I like it better than what we're doing now. I like having a world tour. I think as independent contractors, I think guys should be able to play wherever they want, whenever they want. And if they've earned that right, they've earned that right. And I think the guys that I mentioned, Stenson, Rahm, Koepka, these guys, even Mickelson, he's earned his right to be, he's won how many majors?
And he won 6 majors. Yeah, I know. It's incredible.
I want to watch those guys play golf. I don't get why, as soon as I read the comments on all the social media stuff, but as soon as they went, there were so many tour players that said, yeah, they're dead to me. They're dead to me. And that was our commissioner. They're dead to me. And I'm like, how can they be dead to you when they were alive 2 seconds ago? They were fine. And then they signed their name to go to live, and now they're dead to you because they made a decision that you wouldn't make. Hey, man, welcome to life. There's a lot of decisions that are made that I wouldn't have made that, okay, I got to deal with them. I think I'm with you. I have no animosity. I want to see the best players in the world. I don't think the world is waiting around to watch just the best players, 30 of them or 50 of them play. I think the world wants to watch golf. Now, if you want to throw in a world tour, that would be awesome. And I would say, honestly, I wouldn't do 15. I would do 10 or 12, and I do about once a month. Maybe there's a month you do 2 of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think that's plenty, and it keeps it special. And it lets the PGA Tour run, hopefully with a new commissioner, but run the way it's supposed to run. And then the DP World Tour can run the way it's supposed to run.
And then both tours can feed that tour. There's ways for you to buy your play, earn your way onto that World Tour, and get into those other events as well.
Yes, I think that would be, and again, you and I are just kind of sketching it out right now, but I like all of that.
Too bad we don't have any wine. We do our best work with a little wine.
A little of the Cabernet would be nice.
A little bit of the
Not
bread.
at in the morning.
Mark Wiebe has been my guest. We thank you so much for joining me. We got to do this again because obviously we could fill up some time here talking about stories and telling stories and talking golf. I really appreciate you.
Bud, you're awesome. It's so good to hear your voice again, and I look forward to whenever we talk again.
Recently, my nephew called me and said his basement had flooded and all the hardwood, carpet, and flooring had to be replaced. I told him I have the perfect place for you to go. At Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture, this second-generation family-owned business treats everyone just like their family. Jared Capps is continuing his mom and dad's 50-year business tradition where honesty, transparency, and service carry the day. My nephew loved the luxury vinyl product. Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture has the largest selection in the area. Whether you prefer Mohawk and the wide variety of their product lines, I love the Rev Wood product, by the way, or Karastan or Pergo Elements line, Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture will literally have you covered. You have pets? Let Jared tell you about the many sustainable flooring and carpet options that are pet-friendly but also easily maintained to keep your floors looking great every day. And don't forget about their huge selection of Lazy Boy recliners. They are awesome and one of the biggest selections in the Midwest. Call them today at 618-936-0536 and get your free estimate or set up a consultation with one of their experts. You can also go to JerseyvilleCarpetAndFurniture.net. Proud sponsor of Golf with Jay Delsing.
Hi, this is Adam Betts from Family Golf and Learning Center. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
Are you tired of watching your golf scores go up every year? Despite new equipment and even a couple lessons, you still fight that slice or your inability to get that ball up and down out of the bunker? Well, get ready to experience better golf with Elevate Golf. At Elevate Golf, we're changing the way golfers practice with our innovative and data-driven approach to learning and, most importantly, improving. We have an array of membership options where you can find the perfect fit for your golf, your lifestyle, and your budget. Whether you start in our full-service gym, the short game area that has real sand bunker, or one of our 7 TrackMan simulator bays, the team at Elevate Golf will do a complete assessment of you and your game, which is crucial because if you don't know where you're starting from, it's nearly impossible to attain a goal or a new level. Call us today at 636-265-0557 or visit us at elevategolf.com. That's ELV8golf.com. Contact us today and get ready to play better golf.
You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing. To connect with Jay, log on to jdelsinggolf.com. You'll see the latest in equipment, find the latest innovations in golf, and get tips from a PGA professional. That's jdelsinggolf.com.
Do you remember the golden rule? I'm sure you do, but just in case, it goes like this. Treat people the way that you'd like to be treated. At People's National Bank, that one statement is the cornerstone of what this bank is all about. Locally owned, with 23 locations in Southern Illinois and the metropolitan St. Louis area, People's National Bank parlays a robust menu of commercial or personal banking services you could possibly need with a friendly yet hardworking Midwestern attitude. Maybe you just want to do business with a bank whose entire team lives in the same neighborhoods as we do. If you're like me and doing business with someone you trust is important to you, then People's National Bank is the bank for you. Jason Rantham, local president, is here for you to call, and he'll answer any questions you may have. His personal cell is 314-974-2243. You can also find us online at peoplesnationalbank.com. People's National Bank is here for all of your banking needs.
Heading down the stretch on 101 ESPN. You hear this every Sunday. We call it Golf with Jay Delsing. That's Jay Delsing. I'm Dan McLaughlin. As we come to you from the Car Shield Studios, and as always, presented by Darty Business Solutions. Before we get to the emails, email us, jay@jdelsinggolf.com, jay@jdelsinggolf.com. Before we get to those, Jay, great visit with Mark Wiebe. We're talking about when he was playing, whether it was the senior tour or on just the regular PGA Tour, this guy could flat out play, man.
He really could, and he was one of those guys, Danny, when he got himself in that position, man, he was locked in. He was locked in, didn't back down. None of his game was overly impressive. He wasn't super long, but, man, the guy could putt. He could putt the eyes out of the thing, and, it was always fun. Mark, Weebs and I probably played 200 practice rounds together. I mean, we played a lot together.
Does that happen where you guys just find each other and say, I'm comfortable with this particular player?
Yeah.
I can have conversations. We can talk about the golf course.
Oh, yeah.
We can talk about things that have nothing to do with golf, but just somebody on tour that you find comfortable that you want to play with.
He was like a brother to me. He was several years older than I was. He was tons of experience. I loved his wife, Kathy. I knew his 3 kids, Taylor, Gunnar, Collier. Gunnar now plays on the ADP European PGA Tours, which is absolutely fantastic. And so he's also one of the guys where if you needed someone to look, you knew he cared enough. Where some guys would go, I don't give a dang. I hope he keeps slicing the thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You don't like playing with those guys.
Yeah, no. So he was kind of like that. And so, it was super fun and very relaxed. We might have thrown a shekel or two around it at each other. And I can remember a couple of times where Weaves would just run the tables with the putter. And I'm like, he hit a putt from 40 feet and started walking. I'm like, really? You got to be kidding me. And about 3 seconds later, the putt would fall in. I'm like, man.
What do you think made him a great putter? And maybe it's generally a statement here, what makes these guys great putters, but what was it about him? You're a great putter. You're a great short game player. What is it about that makes you a great putter?
I think it's your mind. I think it's that attitude, because it's hard. You can hit all these good putts. How many times do you look at me and go, how did that not go in? I'm like, over all these years, you'd think I'd be used to that. It's rolling perfectly. It's going straight in the center of the hole, and it hits something and lips out, and you go, whatever, so I think it's that attitude where you're like, I'm getting into the processes. I'm going to keep rolling them. And I know one day, maybe tomorrow, they're all going to go in.
Absolutely.
And so I really think that's it. I think that's the most important aspect of putting.
Mike in South City, as we get to the emails, guys.
I love these emails, man. Thank you, folks, for these emails. They are fantastic.
Guys, heard you talking about your favorite moments. Jay, what stands out for you? Is there one particular moment that stands out for you?
Well, for Mike, thanks for the email, for getting to walk on the grounds. I'll never forget the first couple steps.
That's your favorite.
I cannot believe. Well, I loved, 2 things stick out. Jack making that putt at 17 and Vern Lundquist's iconic call will always, and that ranks ahead of Tiger's pitch shot that rolled up the hill and Nike commercialed right on the edge and then fell in.
That's my favorite.
so theatrical. I'm like, of course Tiger did that.
Of course.
I mean, we're looking at that ball, and it's like, here's a Nike swoosh. Here's a Nike swoosh. Oh, it's starting to roll, but not too fast, Danny. I'm like, yeah, but just Jack winning the 6th and then having Jack on the show and talking about it and how he's wearing his yellow shirt and he looks at Barbara and Barbara's like, why not? And just to get behind the scenes, that makes that kind of special for me.
Favorite hole for you?
Ooh, that's a really good call. I think it might be number 12, Danny. It's a little bitty par 3. You look at it and go, really? And you see more people make double bogeys and more on that hole every single year. So it's one of those holes as a player that if you lose respect, and what I mean by that, you get, oh no, my game's good, I'm going to go flag hunting, you wind up in the water.
I think my favorite shot is Bubba Watson's shot.
Oh, yeah.
When he's behind the tree.
On number 10.
And only a lefty could do that, right?
100%, because he had a short iron and he's cooked it and could keep it in the air. A right-hander could hit a slice, but it'd be so low it wouldn't work out. But I also love the second shot at 15. I love, it's coming over the water. If it lands 2 yards short, it goes back in the water. If you land it in the back half of the green, it goes over and you got that shot. So I there's so many out there that are snaky. There's some really hard ones too. The 4th hole, Danny, the par 3, I think last year on Sunday it totaled like 237 yards, and the flagstick is like sitting on a knob over there. You're like, wow.
Yeah.
So there's lots of tough ones as well, but the whole place is just it's a park, man. It's a golf park.
This is Tom in West County. He says, guys, playing in the wind this past week. Cold, a little bit rainy, but I want to know about playing in the wind. Best way to do it.
We get this every week, and I love answering. You've got to take extra club, and you've got to learn how to control the trajectory a little bit, meaning getting that ball back towards your trail leg, so further back in your stance, and trapping that ball a little bit and holding your finish down. AKA like the British Open. When you see folks playing over there, you'll see these abbreviated finishes. If you let your hands go higher and come up by your head, the ball's going to go higher. Keep them down around your waist. You're going to be able to punch. You got to get out and practice that a little bit too, Danny, those little punch shots.
What's a club that you like to use with that? In particular, I mean, I know you can use any of them and try to hit that dart, but what do you like to use?
Well, when I'm good and I'm on, I can run that through the bag, even with my 3-wood, hit that little low darting thing in there. But I guess to practice, it's really important to try to practice being able to control your trajectory with your short irons because, you get closer to the green, you have this expectation, and now you've got the iron in your hand that's the hardest to hit low. So you hit that pitchy wedge up in the air and the wind takes it and takes it all over the place. It's also so difficult to control how far it's going to go into that wind. You hit it a certain height and you don't think the wind's going to take it. The wind hits it and the ball goes half the distance. We both done that. So I'm going to say my short irons.
Jason in Cottleville, he wants to know about.
We love Cottleville over there.
Having trouble scoring this time of year. What do you think it is?
Oh, man. So, Jason, get on the greens. We say this every year. The quickest way to improve your game, to lower your handicap, get on the green and work yourself out, okay? And what I mean by that is hit some long putts. Work on getting his speed right. I know the greens aren't great right now, but get out there nonetheless and start getting some touch and feel. And, Jason, don't ever try to lag that thing from 30, 40 feet. You're trying to hold everything. And people say, they'll say to me, well, I ran it 15 feet by. I was trying to hold it. That's not trying to hold it. That ball's not going in if it had that much speed on it. No way in hell. So that doesn't mean you just gun everything by it. It means you're going to roll that thing in. It's not going in if that ball's going to go 10, 15 feet by the hole. That's hit too hard. So that doesn't mean I'm gunning for everything. And then work on the putting clock and work on your short putts, because as soon as you start eliminating those 3 putts, we went over this the other day. How many 3 putts did our buddy Joe have the other day?
He had a bunch.
He had a few.
And that helped me out.
Some of his second putts didn't even stay on the green.
No, he was all over the place. And Joe is listening, I guarantee
we
you right
love you,
now.
Joe. We love you.
He's a little frustrated with that putting exhibition.
Yeah, he might have new putter, maybe. I don't know, maybe. But that's the thing, and that's where. And then start throw some balls around the edges of the green. Start it just a couple steps, 2 or 3 steps. And listen, you got rough. We've got a lot of rain lately, a lot of grass growing. You got to work on that high lofted wedge, your 58, your 60, a little angle, drop the head on that thing, get that ball popping up and landed softly. You got to work on that short game.
Putting clock. Let's go through that one more time. We do it a lot, but what is the putting clock and how it helps you?
It's my favorite, Danny. So there's 2 purposes. First of all, it works on your short putting, so you get 4 balls and put them around in a circle around a hole and start at 2 feet away. And you got to hole all 4 of those. And once you hole all 4 in a row, you move it now to 3 feet. So now it's only a putter's length, okay? So 36 inches away, and now we got to hole all 4 of those in a row. And then we go to 4 feet. And this is where it gets challenging, guys, because the caveat is, as soon as you miss, you go back to 2 feet. And so this drill is good for 2 ways. It works on your short putting and helps you with your confidence on knocking those putts in and eliminating 3 putts. And 2, it puts pressure on you. So you can stand over that last 4-footer. I promise you, your butt is thinking, I got to get this thing in or else I got to start over. So you're going to concentrate and you're going to figure out how to let that thing go and free it up.
This is Mary in West County, wants to know about early in a season this spring, golf-specific exercises that you like to use.
I like it, Mary. I like it. So first of all, Mary, any sort of cardio that you can do, get on the bike, go for a walk, I don't know, maybe Mary likes to do yoga, or just get that heart rate up there. Start getting a little blood pumping. And then what I like to do is anything rotational. So I have a bunch of bands at home. You don't even need bands, but the bands just create a little resistance. You can put them around a door handle. You can put them around a door jamb, and then you stand up there, Mary, with your arms at your side, and you stress that band through a little bit of a rotation, and you'll feel it. You'll feel it in your abs. And here's the other thing, Mary, you're going to have to activate your glutes and everything else to hold you steady, because as soon as you turn, your whole body's going to want to turn. And we want minimal amount of movement on your lower half of your body and a lot in your obliques, in your abs, in your chest area. So that's a really good one right there. Any sort of activity, if you can do. I said that I had my mom doing this. She was little older in some of her latter years, but I had her with a big can of soup. And I had her just lifting it, and she's like, I cannot believe how heavy this is. You do that 15 or 20 times, and it just get some blood pumping. And then the last thing, Mary, is get on the floor and stretch those hamstrings. Stay flexible. It's so important in the golf game. Stay flexible.
All right, this is a good one. Kevin, and this is our last one. Kevin in Kirkwood, he said, played the driver out of the bag of my partner, and now I can't hit it.
I've been waiting for this, Danny. I swear to you, this instance, is this, did you say Kevin?
Kevin in Kirkwood.
Kevin, this happens to me half a dozen times a year. People say, I was out playing with my buddy. He got a new driver for Father's Day, and he let me hit it, and I just striped it. So what did I do? I bought that one. Come on, man.
Right.
It's one swing or 2 swings. Get yourself fitted for the right one for you. You might have just timed it up perfectly for that swing. Oh my gosh, they're like, yeah, I bought this driver. I just spent $400 or $500 and I can't hit it. It wasn't made for you. It was made for your buddy. And now he's got, Ed is one of those things. But there's hope. You take that driver and just get the shaft changed out. Go in and get fitted. Go to Pro-Am Golf. Call Tom DeGrand. He's wonderful, and he'll take care of you and get you the shaft that's meant for you, not for your buddy. Your buddy's probably going, this is perfect. I got a little action with my man Kevin, and now he's using my driver. So you would be shocked, Danny, how much that happens.
Great show. This is fun.
Love
Masters Week, here it is. You got to pick? Who's your pick? Who you going?
So I got 2 live guys I'm looking for, and they're not who you're going to be thinking. Joaquin Niemann.
You said that
and
earlier.
Bryson DeChambeau. Mark my words.
I like that.
Bryson DeChambeau.
How do you bet against Scheffler? But go ahead with DeChambeau.
I know. No, I'm going for my 2 live guys and then Sheff, because I'm all over Sheff. But mark my words, Bryson DeChambeau wins the Masters before his career's over.
It.
People have have dissed him for just not fair reasons, Danny. I just don't get it. And then Scotty Scheffler is, I mean, if I get to choose who I want to win, I want Scheffler to win. I want to see how he putts. He's one of these players now, Danny, where if he putts okay, he wins. His hitting is off the charts. He's rivaling Tiger. I know we kicked this horse into the ground, but he's rivaling Tiger, and I can't wait to watch him. And he's already got a green jacket in that closet of his.
I'm Dan McLaughlin. That's Jay Delsing. Jay, how do we end the show?
Hit him straight, St. Louis. Are you driving an out-of-warranty car? It's only a matter of time before your out-of-warranty vehicle is in the shop costing you thousands of dollars. Auto repair costs are up nearly 20% from last year, which is 4 times the rate of inflation. If an unexpected breakdown happened today, would you be ready for that? Well, now you can be with a plan through CarShield. Even if your car is just over 3 years old, it's still prone to expensive costs. Your car is more than just getting you from point A to point B. Traveling by car is a way of life. From picking up your kids to going to a new restaurant, cars are a daily essential. When you enroll in a car protection plan through CarShield, you can look forward to the following. The price will never go up no matter how many claims you file, or no matter how high the mileage on your car increases. CarShield offers protection plans that start as low as $100 per month. That's $100 per month. They have repair coverage for up to 5,000 different parts of your vehicle. Plus, when your car breaks down and you're stuck on the side of the road, you get 24/7 coast-to-coast roadside assistance. You also get complimentary towing and rental car options. CarShield has my back when my car breaks down, and they can have yours too. Call CarShield today at 800-465-6550 or visit carshield.com. It's CarShield, proud sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.